I was perusing the shelves of various shops to look for something for a post-Christmas assortment video. And I was thinking about getting another one of those little cast iron pans, but I noticed a theme emerging. And that theme is balls. So yeah, I've got an assortment of things here which are balls. Mostly chocolate, I think, but a variety of different things. Let's have a quick rundown of what they are and what they cost. Cadbury's Puds, £1.75 for 5-pack of Cadbury's Puds. They're little chocolate truffle type of things. Mug Melt Bombs, assortment 3-pack. Chocolate flavour, salted caramel and peppermint flavour. I think these are things you just drop into hot milk and it makes hot chocolate. These were £2.24, not really cheap. Cadbury's Mini Snowballs, milk chocolate in a crisp sugar shell. 46p, reduced from £1 something in Co-op. Buzzballs, cocktails. So we are still weird stuff in a can. This is just a rather unusual shaped can and made of plastic with a metal top. So this is a cocktail in a ball-shaped can. Ready to drink, spirit drink, alcohol 13.5%, chili mango. That was £4. Now there's a whole range of these and I could have got them for £3 each if I'd bought 4 of them, and I just thought, no, I'm not going to do that. So I got one. Pokemon decorated bauble and a Bluey decorated bauble containing jelly beans. 5 grams of jelly beans. Oh, they could have done better than that, surely. These were reduced to 87p each. Lindt Snowdrops, £1.50. So these appear to be chocolate drops with a creamy double milk filling. Poppets Hot Chocolate Bombs. And again, a hot chocolate bomb thing. Presumably just drop it into hot milk. Poppets, if you're not aware, are a brand of bonbons. Quite a traditional chocolate in the UK. Chocolate coated, either flavoured fondant or toffee. Kinder Choco Balls. Milk and Crisp Sensations, Kinder Choco Balls, £1.75. And then the Snowman and the Snow Dog freeze-dried snowballs. Don't think too hard about that one. These are strawberry-flavoured freeze-dried sweets. So we're going to do a tasting. I'm not going to do all of the ingredients of this because that would just be ridiculous. We've got far too much on the table. The first thing I need to do is dash downstairs and put that in the fridge because it does say enjoy chilled. Let's just read the blurb before we do. A mixed drink with alcohol, spicy margarita cocktail made with premium tequila, vodka, mango and natural flavours. Enjoy chilled, have a ball. The UK Chief Medical Officers recommend adults do not regularly drink more than 14 units per week. Be drinkaware.co.uk. Women owned, made in the USA, made with 15% recycled plastic. Shake well. I don't think I'm the target market for these. Just saying. I think these are probably aimed at a younger demographic than me, and I don't think I'm in the right place to be drinking it either. I think you're meant to drink these in a car park. Anyway, I'm going to dash downstairs and stick that in the fridge so we can enjoy it chilled later. And I'm going to get a mug of hot milk so that we can test one of these hot chocolate drinks. But let's just check. We do just carefully add to a mug of warmed milk and allow to melt. Stir completely until dissolved. Can be eaten as sold. So you can just eat that, or you can drop it in a mug of hot milk. I think we'll do the latter. Back in a moment. Okay, I have returned and I've got a mug of hot milk here and roadside spoon. Shall we have, I think chopped toffee, popcorn flavour sounds the one to try first. Popcorn flavoured things aren't always great, I've got to say. Sometimes they can taste a bit musty. Will this be like that? So it's like a chocolate ball sealed with a chocolate disc, and carefully into the hot milk it goes. Now, expecting that that will melt and suddenly burst open, and probably when the bottom bit melts that will fall off and then it'll turn over and the marshmallows will fall out. Who knows? That's a surprise yet to come. So we'll just set that aside for a moment. I've also got a sharp knife and a board here because some of these things I think we need to do a cross section. Oh, there's bubbling occurring. I'll make sure that's on camera so you can see what's going on there. Let's taste something I haven't had before, which is the Snowman and the Snow Dog freeze-dried snowballs. So, yeah, freeze-dried, they they seem to weigh almost nothing. Foil pouch inside. Open that up. Oh, and they are very strange. They're like, they do feel like packaging. So, I will just taste one now. I will edit out all of the eating sounds. It's a bit like meringue, but it really sticks to your teeth. A very nice natural strawberry flavour. Oh, so there's no... I thought there might be bits of freeze-dried strawberries inside, but they're not. They're just like freeze-dried strawberry ice cream balls, I suppose, or something. Like a sort of very hard meringue, but with a intense strawberry flavour. Not bad. Oh, we've got more stuff occurring. The ball is sinking. Now, should I stir? I'll give it a poke. Yeah, it's all coming to pieces. We'll just leave it for a bit, I think, because there's still chocolate to melt in there. What next? I think Cadbury's mini snowballs next. These are milk chocolate in a crisp sugar shell. Oh, and the smell. They've got that kind of vanilla smell. They remind me of sugared almonds that you used to get in little lace bags at weddings. Anyway, it's very, very sweet chocolate. I mean, chocolate with sugar on the outside. Does it need sugar on the outside? There's the cross section. There's a bit of chocolate without the sugar. Cadbury's changed their recipe quite recently, and a lot of people don't like the new recipe. This has got the kind of slightly fruity aroma that you get in older Cadbury's chocolate. I wonder if they haven't changed the recipe on this manufacturing line. Chocolate covered with sugar shell, a bit like Smarties really. That's UK Smarties, which are like M&Ms, but better. Too sweet for my liking. Chocolate, I don't think, needs a sugar shell on it. What next? Well, let's actually have a break from chocolate, shall we? And have the Bluey. Does it have any description of what this actually is? It's a bauble. It's a Christmas tree ornament with jelly beans inside, held shut by a plastic tape because otherwise people would be opening them in store. Oh, and there you go. So we get a tiny little packet of pink. Those are supposed to be jelly beans. They don't really look like jelly beans. And some Bluey stickers. I'll save them for my grandson. He'll enjoy those. Let's have a look and see if the Pokemon one is any different. This is Pikachu. Christmas Pikachu. Again, yeah, little pink jelly beans. Pokemon stickers. So let's see if I know my Pokemon. I don't, by the way. I know that's Pikachu. Is that Charizard? Bulbasaur? Don't know that one. Squirtle? Anyway, these are metal spheres. I think that's steel. I'll just get a magnet and test that. Yes, off camera. That's a steel ball. That might be useful. If you're like a Scratch Bash maker, that might be useful if you were going to make a model of R2-D2. Or maybe the other half you could make into a model of Zen from Blake 7. Or both halves if you wanted to make an Olympic-class starship from Star Trek. Anyway, that's that. The jelly beans. Isn't that ridiculous? Come on. Surely you could do a bit better than that, maybe? What are they like then? Oh my goodness, those aren't jelly beans. They are like sugar gravel. Faintly fruity. I don't even know what flavour that is. Very poor. They're just like hard sugar drops with a smooth candy shell on them. Awful. And yeah, they've got that kind of slightly soapy, fruity flavour. I can't even identify what fruit that is meant to be. I think it's time for hot chocolate. The marshmallows are melting. So there are lumps of chocolate down the bottom. The marshmallows have almost completely melted, but the chocolate hasn't yet gone into suspension, but it's the best we've got. Let's give it a try. Yeah, not bad. It tastes like hot chocolate. The marshmallows have disappeared and just really sweetened the milk. Hang on a minute. It's meant to be toffee popcorn flavour. Choc toffee popcorn flavour. Okay, tasting again now with my senses informed by that information to see if I can taste the popcorn. Yeah, I suppose. It's really, there's a slight buttery corn flavour in there. It's not very distinct. I mean, it could be worse. It could be worse because sometimes popcorn flavour things just smell and taste like stale bread or stale laundry. So it could be a lot worse. It's all right. It's fairly decent tasting hot chocolate. A little bit on the sweet side again for me. I'm not complaining. I went and bought a load of sweet things, obviously. Duh. But yeah, some of these things are a bit too much sugar sweet without any complexity to them, is what I'm saying, I suppose. Let's see if the Cadbury's Puds are any good. My goodness, look at the size of those things. So these are chocolate truffles. Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate balls with a truffle centre, hazelnut pieces and rice crisps. So I suppose Cadbury's answer to Ferrero Rocher? If we knew what the question was, I think we might cut that in half. Just because I really don't want to put the whole of that thing in my mouth at once. I didn't want to cut it along the seam because I wanted to get a cross section of the thing. So there it is. Yeah, not quite like Ferrero Rocher. So it's a chocolate shell with your chocolate truffle and your rice crisps and hazelnut pieces in the middle. Okay. I mean, I think I would have accepted more nuts and ricey bits in the truffle. It's going to taste a bit of the chocolate shell on its own to see if I can discern whether this is Cadbury's old or new recipe chocolate. I think it might be old recipe. Some of the newer Cadbury's chocolate recipe has got some of that kind of Hershey's slightly off milk butyric acid taste to it. And a lot of people don't like that. This doesn't seem to have that. It seems to be, I don't know, it could be that the flavours from the truffle have seeped into the chocolate ball, so it's a bit hard to tell. Quite nice though. What have we not yet opened? Kinder Choco Balls, milk and crisp sensations. Fine milk chocolate balls with a milky filling with cookie bits. Indulge and enjoy new Kinder Choco Balls. You were instructed. We told you twice. Enjoy them. There we go. It is a sphere of chocolate. Well, I'll eat one as it is. My perception from that image on the pack was that the middle was going to be creamy and soft, perhaps. It's not. So we'll have another one open. And, well, it's going to come apart into two halves because that's what happened in my mouth. So there we go. And yeah, it's a white chocolate, quite a waxy white chocolate filling with, what are those supposed to be? Cookie bits, aren't they? Yes, it's okay. I suppose. I think you've got to like white chocolate for that one. The white chocolate does overwhelm the milk chocolate. But if you like Kinder, if you like the flavours of Kinder chocolate, they're well represented here. And Lindt Snowdrops. These are milk chocolate with a creamy double milk filling. Foil wrapped. Do you know what I should do? All of these scraps and bits and bobs of stuff, I should just dump them in there. I'm not going to put these awful little perfumed sugar beads in there because they were awful and perfumed. There we go. Lindt Snowdrops. Okay, looks quite similar to the Kinder Choco Balls, but without the cookie bits. Now, that's much nicer. In fact, I'm going to try one. I shouldn't have just tried a piece cut up. I should have tried the way you're probably meant to eat them, which is just pop the whole thing in. Which obviously you can't do with the Puds. I don't know how you're meant to eat these. You must have to break that in half or something. Anyway, these clearly are meant to go in one piece. That's much better. Right, well that's now very, very hot chocolatey chocolate, and the hazelnut bits floated to the top. Let's give that a try. Quite rich. And the nutty bits from the truffles have definitely enriched that. I mean, it's way, way too sweet. I know I keep saying that, but that's quite chocolatey now. I feel like it wasn't quite enough chocolate to make it hot chocolate on its own with this. And that is just a mug of milk. That's what it says to use. Well, it doesn't say any particular volume of milk. So that is all of the sweets here, I think. We've still got 4 hot chocolate things to taste, but I'm not going to sit here and drink 4 cups of hot chocolate today. I'm particularly curious about peppermint flavour. I've never had peppermint hot chocolate before in my life. I know it's a thing, but I've never chosen to consume it. So that was a load of balls. What's the best things out of this so far? I think it's got to be the Lindt Snowdrops. Quite nice, quite rich, buttery chocolate. The Cadbury's Puds, pretty good. The Snowman and Snowdog freeze-dried snowballs, interesting because the intense strawberry flavour, a little bit weird in the way it's stuck to my teeth. It's like hard, sticky meringue. Those are probably the best things on the table here so far. Obviously, I haven't judged the mug melts yet. Worst thing by far, these awful little bullets of hard candy. What a shame. They're tooth-breakingly hard sugar. Of course, there is a decorative thing, but yeah, the hard candy inside is just a disappointment, which I suppose is tempered by there not being too much of it, at least. So there you go, have a little bit of disappointment. At least it's not a big disappointment. And there is an ingredients panel on these, for these weird little pellets here, which are supposed to be jelly beans, or at least the shelf edge said they were jelly beans, which says strawberry flavoured compressed candy. Ingredients: dextrose, sugar, glucose syrup, all the sugars basically, maltodextrin, emulsifier, magnesium stearate, acid, citric acid, flavouring, colour beetroot red. But these are flavour candy, so that's strawberry flavour, and it says flavour, which means it doesn't have to contain strawberries. Whatever they've put in there is not necessarily strawberries. It's just something that's supposed to approximate the flavour of strawberries, and in my opinion, it doesn't. Okay, we're back to taste the Buzz Balls, or the Buzz Ball. Is it Buzz Balls if there's only one of them? I got the chili mango flavour. There were a variety of other flavours, but I didn't really find any of them very appealing to the eye. Certainly not the blue one. The blue one looked like window cleaner. I should probably explain my earlier quip about car parks, because jokes are always funnier if you explain them to death. These things, I saw them for a long time in the corners of supermarket car parks, urban car parks. I saw what I thought was a collection of either children's plastic balls or Christmas ornaments. And it turned out to be these things. And so it's been my impression that the appropriate place to consume these is a car park. I may be wrong. I don't know. Are these meant to be smuggled into clubs so that you can drink alcohol without paying exorbitant prices? I don't know. Anyway, here we go. This is chili mango. It smells quite fruity and mango-like. I'm going to have a taste from the can first. Okay, it's fruity. It's clearly quite alcoholic. There is a little click of chili there. So now it's starting to pour it out. So cloudy orange thing. As to why I don't open these things with a can opener, I do use the pull tabs on drink cans because can openers don't work on this. Anyway, let's have another taste. I've got to say, it's not very nice. And it's not the chili that's the problem. There's a real harshness to the alcohol in here. A really kind of harsh, slightly acrid edge to it. Premium quality tequila and vodka, it says. Is it though? 200ml at 13.5% volume. I don't know how many units that makes that. I will calculate it and put it on the screen. While we're here though, I should mention there are a number of balls I didn't buy. So there are things like Lindor balls and Maltesers and Ferrero Rocher that I just felt were a little bit too commonplace and available year round. And even though this is not a seasonal thing, most of the other things are a little bit festive or seasonal. There's also Terry's Chocolate Orange, which is seasonal, but again, it's a bit kind of well known for something like this. And I think that would make this already superfluous video even more superfluous. Anyway, yeah, Buzz Balls Chili Mango. I think I'd rather have a pint of good ale. But as I say, I'm not the target demographic for this product, so don't regard that as a complaint or critique. I'm just not in the right place to appreciate this, I don't think. I shan't drink the rest of that. I'm not really enjoying it. I did also notice when I was editing that first bit that I neglected to mention a couple of the prices on some of the products. So here is a table on screen of the full pricing for all of the products. Okay, we're back the next day and I'm going to taste one of these mug melts. I've decided actually I'm not going to do all 5 of the hot chocolate things. I think one of these will be sufficiently representative of the genre. So there they are. And I'm going to do the peppermint one. Now, instructions on these say, place the chocolate flavour ball in a mug, pour over hot milk, stir and enjoy. Interestingly, they don't say drop it into hot milk, and I wonder if that's because this one's a bit more dense than the Poppets ball. And maybe it's a sinker. And maybe they don't want it splashing people and for them to have lawsuits. Anyway, there's the ball. Drop into a mug. Pour over hot milk. No, it is still a floater. Okay, stir and enjoy. I forgot a spoon, so I'll just go and get that now. Oh, it's gradually sinking. Right, there it goes. I think we could probably give it a stir now. Right, while I wait for that chocolate just to melt a little bit more, there were a couple of other ball things that I didn't get. There was a set of balls with other hot chocolates in them. I didn't get those because I was already clutching these balls in my hand when I got there, and I just felt like too much hot chocolate would be too much of the same thing in the video. And there was a set of cocktail mixers in little baubles as well, which I didn't get because they need to be mixed with something else, and that just seemed like a faff. And also, I'd already spent enough. Okay, now there's a reason why hot chocolate is usually in powder or granule form, I think. And that's because, you know, melting solid chunks of chocolate into the milk and hoping that the marshmallows will survive while you do that. You know, these ball things are an interesting novelty idea, but they're not a particularly practical way to make hot chocolate, I don't think. Anyway, I think that's probably ready to taste. Let's give it a go. Okay, it's not very chocolatey. And I think, again, it's just because that's not an awful lot of chocolate to mix into milk. I mean, I think you're not necessarily seeing, yeah, it's a very pale hot chocolate. That's just not a very, it's not really enough chocolate to make hot chocolate. The peppermint flavour is quite subtle. It's okay. I don't really think of putting peppermint with chocolate. I usually enjoy it, actually. Like when I have mint choc chip ice cream, I always enjoy it more than I expect to. As a flavour in hot chocolate, I don't think I really like it. It's not unpleasant, but yeah, it's probably just not really quite my thing. Yeah, that chocolate looks more chocolatey than it is just because something's floating up to the top there, probably the fats. The unemulsified fats are floating up to the top, or maybe just particles of cocoa. Yeah, it's certainly all right. You know, as I say, I've never had peppermint hot chocolate before, and partly because I've been offered it and I've declined it because I didn't expect that I would enjoy it all that much. And I think I was more or less right. That's okay, but peppermint in hot chocolate's not for me. And I think with this one, because it does say can be eaten as sold, it's not mandatory to melt this into a hot chocolate. I don't think these ones do say that. Not suitable for children under 3 years old. Not for individual sale. Pictures for illustrative purposes only. Yeah, because it's not going to look like that. This one doesn't say anything about that you can eat it directly as it is, so I won't attempt to do that. But this one, this is the salted caramel. It does say that you can eat these as they are. So let us attempt that. Prise off the lid. Shake out the little marshmallows. Oh, and there's a strange... Oh, that must be the bit with the salted caramel in it, I reckon. That's your flavour nugget, I suspect. Or maybe it's just a make weight. Okay. The chocolate shell. Quite waxy chocolate, but it tastes good. It's just like Easter egg chocolate, and you can see why. Mini marshmallows. They're very squishy. I mean, marshmallows are not the most highly flavoured thing anyway, but these seem to be especially tasteless. Not even getting that kind of vanilla marshmallow flavour from those. And then this thing, which I think is the salted caramel flavour. Let's see if I'm right. Actually, let's cut that in half and see if there's anything in there. Perhaps we can discern a grain of salt. No. Yeah, that tastes a bit more caramel, that chocolate. Don't know where the salt is. Maybe in that bit? No. It does say it's got salt in it. So there we go. I think we've reached the end. Best thing on the table was the Lindt Snowdrops, I think, with Cadbury's Puds in second place, probably. Worst thing on the table is going to be a toss-up between this pair of balls. This was just very disappointing in terms of the mis-selling of the contents. It did say jelly beans on the shelf edge, it said jelly beans on the receipt, but it had these weird, horrible little candy bullets in it. This, I don't know, I get the impression that the flavour in this is just to make chugging the alcohol tolerable. And this is a personal thing. That is not my preferred mode of consuming alcoholic beverages. I would rather take my time and enjoy it And, you know, I do like alcoholic drinks, but I'm not primarily drinking them for the buzz. So perhaps this one's just not for me. Maybe I should reserve judgment on that because it's not for me. So yeah, that's the worst one. The Bluey and the Pokemon balls. Redeemed only by the fact that these metal balls are kind of a little bit nice, I suppose. They're not badly made, nicely printed. You know, if you had a big Christmas tree, something like that hanging on the Christmas tree might not be too bad. So there we go. That was a load of balls. Post-Christmas roundup of a load of spherical things. I hope that's been interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.